Please video like and subscribe this channel. The first time I saw her, she was standing in the central plaza of Nova Arcadia, the capital of the outer colonies, handing out something I could hardly believe anyone would distribute openly in a city governed by strict interstellar protocols: flyers. The flyer's message was blunt, almost shocking in its audacity: looking for a spouse. Genuine applicants only. And the woman handing them out was even more remarkable. I had heard rumors of her, whispered across docking stations and spaceports, an alien woman of remarkable beauty, charisma, and audacity, who had left her own people's homeworld to wander the fringes of civilized space. They called her Serena. Some said she was royalty exiled, others said she had abandoned a life of privilege for freedom and adventure. Whatever the truth, the stories never captured the intensity of seeing her in person. Serena was tall, her form elegant and otherworldly, yet approachable in a way few aliens in positions of influence ever were. Her skin shimmered with subtle, color-shifting patterns, emerald giving way to sapphire and back again depending on the angle of light. Her eyes, golden and large, were alive with curiosity, mischief, and a trace of something I couldn't name. And her smile made people stop and stare. I had come to Nova Arcadia on official business, carrying a delegation from Earth tasked with negotiating trade routes for essential resources. The last thing I expected was to encounter someone handing out matrimonial flyers in the middle of a bustling city plaza. Yet, there she was. I approached cautiously. "Excuse me," I said, eyeing the flyer. "Are these serious?" She looked up at me, tilting her head in a manner that was both playful and calculating. "As serious as you are," she replied, her voice melodic but firm. "I am offering freedom to those willing to join me, not as subjects, not as citizens, but as partners. Life is short, even among the stars." I blinked. Partners? Yes. Companions. Spouses. Those who seek connection, adventure, and a chance to share in a life unbound by rules they never made. She extended a hand, offering the flyer to me. I hesitated, taking it. The paper was thicker than any Earth paper, glimmering faintly with embedded nanotech that made the letters shimmer. "Most people are afraid," she continued. "Afraid to commit, afraid to travel beyond the known, afraid of me." I read the flyer. "I am Serena of the Thaler cluster. I offer companionship, exploration, and freedom. Must be brave, honest, and willing to embrace the unknown. Meet me at coordinates 7x Delta, star system Theta 3. Bring nothing but courage." "Why do this?" I asked. "Why hand these out openly?" "Because freedom must be offered, not demanded," she said simply. "And because someone has to take the first step." Curiosity overwhelmed caution. I had spent my life navigating trade agreements, ensuring stability among human and alien colonies, and calculating risks in ways that left little room for unpredictability. Yet here was someone who embodied unpredictability, and I wanted to know why. The next day, I followed the coordinates she had listed. The location was a quiet asteroid orbiting a distant sun, mostly abandoned except for a few derelict mining stations. There, I found her again, waiting as if she had known I would come. "You came," she said, her smile widening. "I did," I admitted. "I don't usually follow strangers into unknown space." "Good," she said. "Then you're not like the others." The asteroid was not as deserted as it appeared. Within a hidden cavern, Serena had created a small settlement, modest, efficient, and alive with activity. Humans, aliens, and hybrids moved through the corridors, working together, laughing, and sharing meals. No one was in charge in a traditional sense. Governance was collaborative, voluntary. Freedom wasn't a concept here, it was a lived experience. "This is incredible," I whispered. "I call it the Haven," she said. "A place where people are free to choose, to love, and to explore without interference. But it's only possible with trust and courage. And only those who accept the invitation willingly may enter. Her eyes studied me as I walked through the settlement. I saw not just leadership in her posture, but a vulnerability, a willingness to expose herself to rejection, failure, and danger in order to give others freedom. Over the next days, I learned more about her methods. Serena didn't coerce anyone. She didn't promise wealth, power, or safety. Her flyers were honest: companionship, adventure, and freedom, but nothing guaranteed. People joined her out of belief, curiosity, or a desire for something more. Those who didn't join simply left, often inspired, sometimes bewildered, but always unharmed. And yet, something about her drew people in. It drew me in. One evening, as the twin moons of the asteroid cast pale light across the settlement, she found me alone in a quiet observation chamber. "You're thinking about leaving," she said. "I'm not sure," I admitted. This is more than I expected." "It is," she said. "Freedom is never simple. But I don't offer it lightly." I studied her. "And the people who stay? They find purpose, companionship, and adventure," she said softly. "And sometimes, love." I froze. Her words were deliberate, intentional. They were not part of a recruitment pitch, they were personal. "Love," I echoed. "Yes," she said, moving closer. Her presence was both commanding and comforting. "Love in a world that has none, or has too little. Love among stars, where one can be oneself without fear. I offer the choice, and sometimes, someone steps forward." I swallowed, heart pounding. "And, do people accept?" She smiled, a gentle, knowing smile. "Sometimes. Sometimes they are too afraid. Sometimes, they are ready. And sometimes, they are like you." I didn't understand at first. Then I realized, she was offering me the same choice she offered everyone in the haven. Freedom, adventure, connection, and the possibility of something more, if courage permitted. Over the following weeks, we worked together to expand the haven. She taught me how to navigate alien territories, how to coordinate between human and alien settlers, and how to maintain the delicate balance of trust and autonomy that allowed the settlement to thrive. I taught her Earth strategies, methods of negotiation, and occasionally, dry humor that made her laugh in ways that echoed across the cavern walls. The connection between us grew naturally, unforced. I saw her leadership, but also her humanity, and she saw my dedication and willingness to embrace the unknown. One night, as we watched the auroras of the asteroid storm dance across the sky, she turned to me. "You could leave at any time," she said softly. "I know," I replied. "But I don't want to." Her eyes glimmered with amber light. "Then you understand what I offer. Freedom isn't about chains, it's about choice. And you choose to stay. And I choose to be here. With you," I admitted. For the first time, she allowed a gesture not of leadership, but of affection. She reached for my hand, and I took it without hesitation. "Then we are partners," she said, her voice a whisper against the hum of the asteroid. "Not just in running the haven, but in life. Among the stars, we can be what we wish, free, together, and responsible for our own destiny." And in that moment, I understood. The flyers were more than an invitation. They were a statement, a declaration, and a promise. Freedom is offered to those who are brave enough to claim it. And she had offered me not only freedom but connection, purpose, and the rarest gift of all, choice in a universe that often demanded compliance. When I finally accepted her offer, it was not a decision made lightly. It was not the result of coercion or obligation. It was a conscious acknowledgement that in this vast, infinite galaxy, I had found someone who saw me not as a tool, not as a subject, not as a delegate, but as a partner, a companion, a human worthy of trust, respect, and love. The haven grew. Settlers from across the stars came, drawn not just by flyers but by the stories of a woman who dared to offer choice where none existed, and a human who accepted it. Together, we navigated dangers, negotiated with interstellar factions, and built a community that thrived on mutual respect, courage, and the shared desire for freedom. And every time I saw her hand out another flyer, every time she smiled at a new arrival, I remembered the moment we first met. A strange alien woman offering freedom in the most improbable way, and a human willing to step into the unknown. The stars stretched infinitely, cold and indifferent, yet among them, we carved a space of warmth, trust, and possibility. A galaxy of choice, guided by the one who dared to offer it. She had handed out flyers. And I had chosen to follow. We survived. We thrived. And in doing so, she made not just herself, but everyone who joined her, feel truly free.